here to hear from Chris. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And talk about letter of support requests. Go ahead, and if you'd like to even join us at the table, that's fine
Okay.
too.
Think you want to join us? These chairs look more comfortable.
I don't know if they're any more comfortable or not, but
I see. Well, my name is Chris St. Germain, and I spent 22 years doing what Colleen did for you prior to her role in the county as the economic development person in Clearwater County. And Zipley recruited me after we did some grant writing for them in the CARES Act. So I've been with them for almost a year and a half now. And my role is local government relations, local partnerships manager, and grant writing. COVID, the one good thing that came out of COVID is broadband funding. Zipley is an eligible applicant for the U.S. Treasury Capital Projects Fund that the legislature allocated to the Department of Commerce Broadband Office. There's $120 million that's going to be available. The deadline is June 19th. Excuse me, my deadline is the 15th. And we are excited about a project proposal we're looking at in the Silver Valley. I wanted, so we're looking from Cataldo to Wallace and up the Burke Canyon. It's just over 1,600 addresses. These will be fiber to the premise addresses as dictated by the grant and what we want to do. Since 2020, I actually need to correct the fact sheet that I sent you. Zipley has been investing in Shoshone County. There are 3,335 addresses within the Silver Valley that are currently fiber enabled. There are another 2,000 addresses that are awaiting pole attachment. We've
awaiting what?
Pole attachment agreements with Avista to get on their poles. And there are 639 addresses being designed for. So within that bunch are the 639 are included within the 1,600 that we are going after. There, in addition, the RDOF, are you familiar with the FCC Rural Digital Opportunity Fund? Okay.
I'm not.
It's a federal program through the Federal Communications Commission, and projects were awarded, finalized last year. It was an auction-based award. So the FCC said these are the census blocks that are available for these funds. These funds are subsidy funds to providers. Frontier at the time put in bids for census blocks that were eligible. Within the Silver Valley, there are 847 addresses within eligible census blocks that have been awarded to Zipley Fiber since Zipley bought the Frontier assets. And of those 847, 197 are in service today. 15 will be in construction in 2023, and another 233 are in the planning phase. The grant dollars from the Idaho Capital Projects Fund cannot overlap the RDOF award, so it's not a double dipping of funds. We have done the desktop engineering, and it's just over $10 million project totally. We are going to be requesting $6.5 million from the state and bringing $3.5 million in cash and in-kind material for the project. The projects must be completed by December of 2026. Our goal will have been complete much earlier than that. That part of the whole application process is still underway, so I can't tell you exactly what the planners are telling me that they can do, but across the board, the company is very aggressive in its build schedule.
So this is grant that you're putting 3.3 million of Zipley's own funds into this grant.
Yes, sir. So it's about a 65-35% match, 65 from the grant and 35% from Zipley. Now, a lot of conversation in the BAT and in my discussions with Colleen are around the open access, and that is that other providers, carriers, resellers have access to the infrastructure. And as an incumbent local exchange carrier, the FCC obligates Zipley to allow others on its network. So we have a fiber infrastructure that runs from Mullen to Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene is the main central office within this region. And that fiber path runs along the highway and then along a non-state highway on interstate roads back to Coeur d'Alene.
On poles or underground?
It's a mixture.
Mixture.
Yeah. I could pull up the map if you like.
Oh, that's okay. I just was curious since I'm trying to learn this whole new world.
Yes, we do that. Yeah.
So how does this work? We've got three different providers up here. We have you, we have,
They are.
JNR, and then Suddenlink or Optimum.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work with competing with them, with the grants and things like that? How do you, it's okay?
So we've been participating in that, and we've talked about where does JNR want additional towers in the valley, and is there a way that we could incorporate them into a design? And we just got not a lot of feedback there. JNR gets transport or backhaul services from us today.
Okay.
We help. In fact, I talked to the school, Mr. Howard, the superintendent at Wallace School District this morning, and he was very happy about Zipley connecting the JNR towers because their service had been enhanced since that. So that's all good news. That's part of that open access and that reseller or carrier. In Idaho, there are 137 of the JNR type businesses, whether that be a fixed wireless business like his or another carrier, a wireline carrier that ride the Zipley network.
Okay.
Yeah. So we want to be a partner.
Yeah.
What about the Optimas and the other ones you mentioned?
So Optimum, I don't know if they are on our transport network. I know that they are not in Orofino because of my work as economic developer down there. They have a wireless microwave backbone into Orofino to serve that community. So I don't know what Optimums. I did do some research on Optimums in writing the narrative around the grant, and I'm trying to remember. I'm not going to say because I don't remember it exactly in detail, but to give you a comparison on rate structure and service plans, we offer a 100/100 megabit per second plan at $10 a month. Our 300/300 megabit plan is $30 a month. And the gigabit plan, so 1 gigabit up and down, is $60 a month. We have plans and the network enabled to deliver to the user that has extreme needs up to 10 gigabits up and down. The 2 gigabit is 120, the 5 gigabit is 300. I don't know what the 10 gigabit plan is. It hasn't entered the markets that I have been working in, but they are enabling it across the network. We are an eligible telecommunications carrier, which means that we provide qualifying low-income households access to Lifeline, which is a $9.25 discount, and also the new Affordable Connectivity Program, which is up to a $30 discount. We offer a special affordable connectivity plan to qualifying households that's 200 over 200 megabit plan and an in-home Wi-Fi router at $0 out of pocket for the customer. Now, we did a workshop in Kellogg earlier in the spring, and the librarian Danny and Carolyn with the Community Action Partnership came and learned how to get in and work the portal to help folks to see whether they qualify or not. And in that exercise, we figured that it's 200% of poverty. So it was $27,000 and some dollars a year was their rate, the household for one person rate that would enable them to be qualified. If you're on the free and reduced lunch program, you're qualified. If you're on Medicaid, you're automatically qualified. SNAP is another automatic qualifier. So I'm proud of that fact that we offer that kind of service. Those are available in the fiber-enabled homes only. The $9.25 discount is standard across voice or data plans on the copper infrastructure as we have it today. The Idaho telephone assistance program is another $2.50 from the public utilities.
So how much copper do you guys still have up here?
It's everywhere.
Okay.
So when the fiber goes in, the copper doesn't come out. We, to date, as a company, that is a discussion that I have heard about pulling copper, but I have not been part of that. That's a leadership decision above me. And because we are also a carrier of last resort, which means that we have to, within our service area, you have to be able to call 911.
Yeah.
So the copper infrastructure provides that. So once a home is fiber enabled and they order service, then the phone voice component transitions to a voice over internet protocol. So it's a voice and data service. And that's for that same price. There are federal fees associated with any phone bill. If you look at your phone bill, we all have those fees, and those continue. So.
Now, are you guys considered a utility
Yes.
from the Idaho statutes?
Yeah, we are an incumbent local exchange carrier. We are a telephone company.
Okay, so would the fiber be considered a utility, or is that still a kind of a gray area?
It is, because we are a telephone company.
So it is. So you have to follow the same regulations as you would with the copper going down. You have 24 RPM.
Yep, all that compliance stuff.
Okay.
This factors in, as well as the regulatory reporting, and all of that compliance associated with the FCC certification as a phone company.
Okay.
And I work under the regulatory and external affairs, and our vice president, another gal named Elizabeth, and she is the one that does all of that FCC reporting. So she manages all of the lifeline, the ACP numbers, the addresses served, all that data is what she's responsible for managing and uploading to the website.
Okay. And what are you needing from the Board of Commissioners today?
The Idaho Broadband Office, in their grant guidelines, asked that we show community support. So it's not a penny, other than the paper that's printed on and the ink to do the printing. A letter saying that yes, you support Ziply bringing fiber to more locations in Shoshone County.
And do you have a template letter or something?
Would you have provided that to Sydney?
Do we have that? We have that template. Okay, I have not seen that yet, so I need to look at that. Okay. Other questions from the board regarding that?
I have no questions.
Comments from, I almost called you the peanut gallery, but you labeled that a while ago, so. Okay. All right. Any further comments from you on this?
I don't think so. I've been working on broadband in my role in economic development since about 2004, and it's really exciting for me. I've never worked in the private sector until this. Worked for the feds, the state, the tribes, and local council of governments. So it's a whole new world for me. But the fact that they are the leadership team is interested in enabling leveraging these dollars to bring to more places that wouldn't get it because of the high costs. But we're seeing costs of $13,000 a location in some of these places. And the average is about $7,600. And that's just not something that what I've learned the private sector can afford to invest in. And so COVID was a real drag, but I'm glad that it's resulting in these dollars that we can put to use to benefit people.
Okay.
The cash in the line could actually go on.
Well, that being said, commission, what are you thinking? I am thinking that I need a little time to look at the template and kind of weigh this compared to our whole strategy for a day. When do you need this letter by?
June 15th.
June 15th, which is only in a
Coming
week
up.
or so.
Yes.
Okay,
I agree. I would like to review the letter in comparison to our other supports.
okay,
So I
So-
would move to table for review
as long as we get them an
Get back
answer
by-
before June
before the
15th.
15th. Yeah.
Okay, so we'd be tabling to consider this and then, we can get back and schedule another meeting before that.
Okay,
Interested in a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It was
Okay.
great meeting you folks today.
Thank you
Okay,
for
thank
taking
you.
the time
Okay.
and for helping explain some of the
Yeah,
complexities.
a lot
More
going
than-
on.
More than happy to. I gave Sydney a few cards, so if you have individual questions, feel free to reach out and,
Okay,
yeah, we look forward to it, so.
All right,
okay, thank you.
we'll be back in touch. Meeting is adjourned.